Hey everybody, it's Tracy, and I've had a lot of inquiries lately about Kahnawake, which is a tribal community in Canada and one of the longest standing interactive online gaming licensors in the industry. And I wanted to break down the licensing process costs and things of that nature. So generally speaking, it's one of the easiest, semi-cost effective licenses to obtain. And from an optics perspective, even though it is in fact part of a tribal community, it is in Canada and some federal law does apply there. So it has some better optics than some other offshore jurisdictions. But basically speaking, the process starts with an application, which includes, your basics, business plan, policies, procedures, and all that. And in addition, you also need RTP, RNG certificates. So RTP, return to player, which is sort of like this audit of how people who win at certain games are paid and the efficacy and speed with which they are. And RNG, which is random number generation, which focuses on the probity or fairness of games, especially like card games, right? And those come from like a third party. They're all over the world, but it comes at a cost. Not terrible, but it's something that you have to look at. Also, you have to have a working website, right? And that's part and parcel of getting the RTP RNG certificates. And that, is different than a lot of other places where you don't necessarily have to have like a very accessible thing. But for Kahnawake, you literally have to be able to, at least in beta, go in and allow somebody to play a game, right? For fake money, whatever the case may be. So that's conceptually where it goes. And the process is bifurcated, right? It can take, 3 weeks maybe to get the application together because it's not terribly heavy together with like the RTP RNG certificates. You submit those, and then within about 3 weeks, the gaming authority will start reviewing. And up to about 2 months, right, they'll come back with a decision. And that decision will be, you have a 6-month license, you have been denied, or subject to you making certain changes, we'll give you a 3-month extension to figure it out, right? And then the 6 months starts. So at the end of that 6-month period, assuming you obtain it, what happens is there's this quasi audit, right? And the gaming authority will look at it and look at a host of things, how you help, handle complaints, customer withdrawals, marketing practices, a whole host of things. And it's usually done not on site, but done through, just like email type stuff like that. And it's more of like a question and answer type format, right? And after the 6 months, provided you pass this, let's call it review audit, then you are given a license for a period of 5 years, right? And regarding cost, the license application is $25,000, but unlike literally everywhere else, if you don't get the license, right, or you don't get that preliminary license, you get your $25,000 back, right? Every year thereafter, it's $20,000 to maintain the license. There's certain key man certifications, right? Mostly officers, directors, etc. About $2,500 to begin, and then $1,000 each year to renew. And generally speaking, it's got a good reputation. The access to banking is particularly good, probably because of its connectivity with Canada. And you have the scenario where the economic substance requirements are exceedingly low. The only real requirement is to host servers within Kahnawake, of which they've created this sort of nascent industry of hosting, which can be done at rather cost-expensive means. Software, you can white label it or bring it in, but it has to meet certain standards, PCI and the like. So all said, is really something to look at, and the history of, that's been there longer than almost any other is really important because the optics are good, Canada's good, and especially they will entertain startups, right? Which is unique for some something with more of a setup infrastructure like that. So that's Kahnawake in a brief nutshell. If you have any questions regarding the gaming license there, definitely hit me up, adamtracy.io, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.